Well, different motive, right? The
Right,
motive when you are the military cook is get them fed. The motive when you are the restaurateur is get them fed, but I got a bottom line to meet.
right,
And that second part, that's a game changer,
right.
because the concept of waste changes dramatically to your
Oh yeah,
point, Charlie, when you're on the hook. When you're
oh
on the
yeah.
hook for that overage, that's a radically different concept there.
Yeah. But again, I mean, folks need to understand. They need to plan. They need to prepare and understand what they're getting into. Sometimes, I mean, a lot of young owners or want to own their own companies, small business. They haven't thought that all the way through, and you know, so uh,
Did you see a lot of wide eyes while you were in government? Wide open. I've got a great idea. I'm glad you have a great idea. Do you know how to follow instructions? Do you know how to get capital? And did you ever coach those people from the other side of the desk?
so
Like you're doing now from now the other side of the desk. In other words, when you were with the government, did you ever help people who were trying to get a government contract? Of
so
course,
so
not in an untoward way. I don't
no
mean
no
that.
no no. So in my last assignment as the Army Small Business Director, uh, before that I was a contracting officer, but as the Small Business Director and as the senior advocate for the Secretary of the Army, my job was to try to find small businesses that could help us with our mission support, right? So me and my folks. So we did outreach to talk with companies. If a company came in, and I held office visits with companies coming in and share with them how to do business with the Army. Uh, and then I could tell based on who was coming in and where they were at, uh, you know, whether or not they would be whether or not they'd be successful, but if they had an opportunity to do business with us. And so, we try to build a portfolio of companies that we could reach out to when Commander Charlie called and said, "Hey, I'm looking for a company X that does X." And they still have databases today with those companies, and so that was inherent part of our job when I got to be a small business guy. So yeah, from the other side of the desk, I would have office calls throughout the week, companies coming in. Uh, to see me, they had to send me their capability statement uh, before they got there. So, and my folks had to do some research on them so that when they come in, first of all, time is valuable. And their time is when they're sitting with me, they're not making money. And so, and I would bring my team of folks in um, and to talk with them. But I will tell you, off the bat, I knew who had done their homework, Charlie, and who had not, right? Because uh, you send me your capability statement, and then when you come in and we sit down and start talking, and you say to me, uh, I said, "So tell me what it is." My question always, tell me what it is I can do for you. Well, I'd like to get a contract with the Army. And my response always was, who in the Army, based on what, and I've already read your capability statement, that you're trying to get your skill sets to do mission support. I said, and then it was, I either got an answer that told me I want to go and do some business with the Tank Automotive Command in Warren, Michigan. And here are the requirements that I've looked at that I believe that we can help you with your mission support.
Right.
Most of what I got, if I got one of those, then it was golden. Most of what I got was, uh, I'm not sure uh, or I got the deer in the headlights look. So I asked, did you look at the forecast? Because if you want to go to Tank Automotive Command, uh, by the way, they've got like 5 different divisions that are looking requirements. No, I have not. A forecast is on my website. The forecast is on the website of Tank Automotive Command. So that's the homework piece. So when we did
Yeah, I
outreach,
was getting ready to say you're like a teacher. Well, no, that's ROTC all over again at Norfolk State, right? You could tell who had come into the classroom and done their homework and who hadn't
that's
done their
right.
homework.
That's right.
Right. Okay.
Exactly. And look, and me and my counterparts, my Air Force buddy, my Navy counterparts. I mean, we met on a weekly basis and collaborated, right? So, and why did we do that? It would create a synergy first of all, and we had some like requirements. So, we might not have a requirement active right now in the Army. I can send you over to my Navy counterpart, and they can talk to you, or to the Air Force. Uh, so we worked like that, and but I always tried to get companies. My door was always open for companies to come in
Okay.
and talk and stuff. So yeah, I mean that's only really I didn't without doing that. They didn't need me sitting in the seat if I wasn't going to try to grow the small business uh, community for our industrial base.
So, Tommy, it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong on this, that what you're telling folks is, number one, know what it is you want to do. Number two, know the playing field. Don't run out onto a football field with a basketball, right? And then number three, um, in learning the environment, you got to learn the process that goes along with that environment.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Um, when I was a contracting officer at the local level, um, there was nothing more heartbreaking. And someone comes in, and you can tell, right? They have a good fundamental understanding of one of those three boxes, and they're looking at you like deer in headlights, and you're like, you got one out of three. You got to go get the other two pieces, right? And it's like everybody starts somewhere trying to explain that to them. So even if you don't get it right the first time, that's okay. Life goes. The sun will still rise tomorrow. It'll still set tomorrow. And
But Jim, do you cut those people out automatically? I mean, is this where you call? In other words, do you have that moment where you say to them, and this is for both of you, hey, listen, you got the one thing, there are two other things that you should be aware of, and you should have been aware of them before you walked in my office. Do you tell them that and go and give them another chance, or is this where you wheat and chaff them?
for me,
No,
what I
go
would
ahead, Jim.
always do is basically just say to them, listen, yes, you make the greatest Bluebell ice cream. See, you a Texas boy, Tommy. You know about Bluebell ice cream.
I know
I'm
about
from
Bluebell
Texas
ice
too.
cream. Don't let
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I've married Texas. I know about Bluebell ice cream.
um, right. You may think you've got the greatest competitor to Bluebell ice cream, and I'm glad you know how to make 1 gallon. But you came in here and I I sell 1 million gallons, right? So you're not ready yet. Here are some things to think about, right? And
Yeah.
it's putting questions in front of people and laying those things out for them to think about to
Mhm.
help give them breadcrumbs to the answer. Because I hear love to hear how you felt about this, Tommy. You can't really just give it. I mean, you can help advise people, but you're not a business advisor to them. So there's only so much you can do for
Right.
them. But having a conceptual and hypothetical conversation of saying, listen, you want to get that ice cream made? These are the type of steps generally I would see for someone who wants to get that ice cream made, and they have to understand the breadcrumbs that are being left there
Right.
for them.
Oh no, absolutely. I think I, for me, at heart, uh, there was no one that I turned away. if they're willing to listen. But I'm not gonna spend forever on it. I mean, so folks that came in and out of my office, even till today, it's if they're missing a piece, what I do is I explain what you're missing and what you need to do to get that. I said, then you can come back to me, and then we'll go to the next step. Because if when I ask you to send me your capability statement, and still today, I deal with companies, send me your capability statement. I take a look at it, and when you come in, we're talking, and I'm now trying to talk based on what you've done. If you got no past performance, what I can tell you is you're not going to get a prime contract. I'm being totally transparent with you. Your chances of getting a prime contract is very, very slim. Doesn't mean you won't, but the chances are very, very slim. The people that I know we're gonna put you before. Uh, uh, if I believe based on if you come into me, so in my initial conversation, it's okay. Here's where you tell me you are. Here's where I think you are. Here's what you need to do to get to the next step. And I said, when you come back to me, I want you to do two things. First of all, pick out no more than three. Command and control says three is probably optimal. 3 to 5, you can do 3 to 5. I mean, if you look at the Army structure, the military structure,
Yeah.
it's really like 3 to 5, right? So three is optimal. Pick out three Army organizations that you want to go do business with. Pick three requirements, and I'm telling you where to go. Here's their website. If you don't know that already, here's their website, and go to their forecast and review that and see what three matches what you think you closest can do. Can then come back to me, and then what I'm going to do is never a cold call. I'm going to introduce you to Charlie via email. You're going to be on it, and I'm going to try to get you a meeting. Charlie gives us time. If you want me to go with you, I'm going with you. If not, boom. I said, but once I get you in the room, I don't do any talking except an introduction to Charlie. After that, it's on you. And that's how I work with the businesses till today. But they got to go and do that homework, right? Back to, yeah, because what I get is I want to contract with DOD. I was getting ready to say damn. I can say damn on here.
You can say damn.
Yeah.
Listen, DOD. I said, do you even know what DOD stands for? Right? Well, you hear the acronym. Oh, I guess today is Department of War. Bottom line is, who in DOD do you want to do business with? DOD consists of the fourth estate. That's all the people that take care of the DOD. Fourth estate has 4 different major entities. Then you got the Army, then you got the Air Force, and you got the Navy and the Marines. I said, so I ain't got enough fingers to put all that up, right? Who do you want to do business with? And then we try to chop that elephant down, and but to even till the day, that's how I work with folks, and those that listen, they'll come back. Those that think they can do it without us, hey, we move on,
God
and
bless you.
we go from there. But here's what I would tell you, and I tell this to companies today. With all the things that are going on, I mentioned this earlier, mission requirements have never shrunk. I mean, USAID, this is about doing your homework, right? So they took the sign off the Reagan building for USAID early
Yeah.
in the administration a year ago, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't exist anymore. But the mission requirements for USAID did not go away. They all went to State Department. So about following the money and understanding the playing field. So all those requirements, we're still doing USAID type work overseas. We heard about the
Doge.
grants that they wanted us to hear about, but there's a lot of USAID work that agency was doing. It's all on the Marco Rubio right
But it's not
now.
called USAID, is it?
No, it's not. But
Right.
the work is there, right? Again, and then
It's like
if
changing the name of cone ice cream.
There you go. Listen,
It's
if
not a
you're
cone
in
of
the
ice cream
IT
anymore.
arena, if you're in the IT business, the largest increase in the budget, even 2026, was in the IT arena. And in fact, it keeps rising. And DHS in 2026 got the largest increase of all the agencies. So even though they're cutting workforce and they continue to cut workforce, the missions are still there, which means, Charlie, back to what you said, hey, that means there should be opportunities for folks on the outside. And the answer there is, but you got to be patient, you got to be ready, you got to be resilient.
So
This is
as we get ready to
this has
wrap
been
up,
terrific.
yeah, Charlie,
I mean, this has been eye opening.
because I know you've got 20 more questions, but I'm gonna I'm gonna let you take two more questions before I get to my final one.
I'm done. I'm done. I mean, I'm swimming right now as it is, and I don't know I can swim anymore. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, I really wouldn't mind having an offline conversation with you, Tommy, because some of the things. I mean, I thought, well, I'm smart. I mean, I got this question about far. I'm ready to go, baby.
Hey,
You know?
Charlie, you got my contact information, man. We can set it up.
Yeah, but it's funny because you went through far like what through a goose. I mean, it was like, this is how it is. You said that move to Jeanneret, Louisiana saved your life.
Mhm.
Is it still saving your life?
Oh yeah, yeah. My grandmother's long passed. Well, and my parents, but still got. Uh, I go home at least once a year. My wife, my wife was from there. Her mother passed just as COVID was ending from COVID, but all her sisters, my relatives, most of them are all still in that area. So, yeah.
Jim, take us home.
So, Tommy, the question I'll put before you as we wrap up is, you've been around the world probably three or four times, five, six times at this point. You've seen a lot, talked to a lot of folks. Um, Knowing what small business means to those individual people who are out there, right? If this was, you know, again, let's kind of put the Beltway Bandit folks kind of aside for a second, but this is Jim, guy sitting in Richmond, and he's got a little contracting business, and he's not looking to be huge. He's just looking to do his thing. If there is one good bit of positive news you could put on Jim's heart, what would that be?
I would tell Jim that you know uh, it's always been cyclic, if you will, right, with some of the things that take place. But what has held true for me, a constant, is there's always been a need for small businesses. Always will be a need for small businesses that come to the table with the right niche, right? That's needed. And if you understand, not if, get to understand what and this doesn't matter what level, whether you're local, county, state, or federal, understand what the mission is of Jim Moyer and what it is he needs. And if you have that, hey, you'll get in. And once you're in, perform. Because again, winning that contract is really the performance in the end that will keep you coming back or keep them wanting you to come back.
Yep.
And look, you don't have to grow to be a giant. If you like what you're doing, and hey, just be good at what you're doing. And when I have evaluated, if your performance is what you said it was going to be when you were selling me that, how great you are, then hey, you're in.
I couldn't. I don't think it could be said any better than that. Tommy Marks, preaching the gospel. Thank you very, very much for joining us.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks, Tommy.
best head of hair, still the best head of hair. Um, to everybody, I
I
say,
like it.
be good, be better, and be best. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks very much.
Been a lot of fun. Good night.